Yo, what is up, everybody? We're back for another episode of the WrestleSense live wrestling report here on a Thursday night like we always do. We are live on the Blaze Radio Network as well as the WrestleSense YouTube page as well. Make sure you are subscribed to both if you can. Absolutely free. Appreciate the help out there and all the support from everybody in the community. Tonight, we're going to keep a relatively similar theme throughout the show here, but we're going to go over some of the hot topics in professional wrestling today, what's going on in the past week or such, and get into our Flair segment as we head towards that as well, part 3, I believe. And then we'll talk about managers in pro wrestling, and we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to go into the first segment and then bring them on. So we're going to make some sense of what went down in the last week of pro wrestling here from the side. All right, before we get the boys in here, let's go ahead and check the chat. We got Wally, of course, as always, holding it down. PFW's in the building as well. This dude got like a reserved seat here in the arena before every show, I think. They're always here. They're like, remember the Muppets, those two guys that would sit up in the booth? That's Tito and Wally for our show. Monstar's in the building. Look, he's looking in the mirror, calling himself a pencil neck geek. How about it? Mr. Old School out there, Monstar. Good to see you, my friend. Juniper Nightblood, another member of the channel in the building. Good to see you. Clinton as well. Clinton, thank you for sharing out. Make sure you guys share out the channel as well. Let your friends and family, everybody know what's going down, and bring someone new back next Thursday. Introduce them to your boy Blaze and the boys here on the WrestleSense Podcast. Kenzie TV is here. Good to see you, my friend. Andy, what's going on? Andy Price from the other side of the planet. Always like to welcome him. And Crushing Kelly Black, too. All right. Well, we're going to get down to the business of professional wrestling here on the channel once again. So he was first earlier, so let's bring him out first for a change. What's up, Ray?
I never expected you to bring me first. I'm eating over here. How's it going, everybody? How's it going?
Like the unexpected here. Doing well. Not tons of news this week, but we're gonna make do and have a pretty fun episode. Let's bring the rest of the guys on. Doc's got some toys here. What's this?
It's Asuka.
We're going to talk about Asuka later. I don't know if I took the picture and put it on there, but I'm just going to cover it right now after I bring CJ on. What's up, CJ?
Yo. You know what I just noticed? And it's my OCD. The graphic leading into this segment, the ring has 4 ropes on it.
Oh, wow.
It's a boxing ring.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought of to look at that, but yeah.
So did anybody catch, speaking of Asuka, did anybody catch the comment from commentary about Asuka this week, which me as a childhood fan to this character kind of nitpicked it and I was offended. Not offended, but
I don't even know what you're talking about. I fast forward through that match.
I didn't watch hardly any wrestling this week. I'm guilty. But I did catch up on most of the news. I think it was Pat that called her Asuka the Grouch.
Yes.
I love it.
Here's the problem.
I love it.
Oscar the Grouch. I get the pun. I'm all about puns and silly jokes. Oscar lives in the trash can. He doesn't put people in the trash can. So that makes
for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I liked it. I thought it was creative though. You know, I mean, you have to give. Was it Jimmy that said it? Was it Jimmy? Whatever his name is, said
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith wasn't on Raw this week.
Oh, that's right. So it was the new guy, the Irish dude.
Yeah. What the hell's his name? Kevin Patrick.
Yeah. I find that Hugh Morris.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So let's keeping on with the highlights from this week.
I was going to say, since we're talking about Raw, can we just?
Yeah.
The fundamental problem, man. I love Asuka. Asuka and Becky have great chemistry, but literally when I saw what the main event was of Raw, I'm immediately turning off. Like, I've seen this match 73 times in the last year and a half. I mean, it's just, my God, can we please book somebody else?
I'm at a frustration point with WWE. I mean, I'm going to be soon to be the AEW only mark on this channel.
I have frustrations with them.
I'm getting tired of waiting for the big shows, having good shows once in a while, and it goes right back to the same shit. I'm tired.
I gave it a shot because I wanted to see the aftermath. I wanted to see what new storylines they were going to start. Because usually after a pay-per-view, you got some good. But like Ray said, I turned it on. I'm like, hey, and then I was like Clark Griswold with the Jelly of the Month check. I was like,
it
took
a
weird
week.
it
took me 40 minutes to watch Raw because I fast forwarded through so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. It was.
I'm sick of the way they insult our intelligence as wrestling fans on a regular basis.
You mean the male model gimmick?
I love that.
I don't mind that at all.
I don't mind that at all. Too.
I love characters. I really do. I hate when they like the battle royal last week. Let's put all the guys that were in there in the battle royal and one more, and Baron wins to only lose later on tonight. We'll talk about Austin Theory. Why he's right on the screen. Why does he lose the U.S. title to win the? I mean, it's so.
Me makes sense.
It's wishy-washy though.
Here's the fundamental problem. If I tune into Monday Night Raw, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt who I'm going to see.
True.
And what matchups I'm going to see. Because they're only pushing 10 talents on each show for some reason. They have all this depth, supposedly, all these people in developmental, but they're only pushing the same matchups. I don't know how many more times I can watch the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the same
and
thing.
I'm not insulting either team. They're both.
No, it's always been that way, though. That's my point. It's been this way for how long? We're trained to listen and get used to the way it's structured in WWE. That's why for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been so weird. Because we got AEW, got Impact picking up all these other ones. We're so trained on how wrestling should be because WWE has been the only one for a decade. That it's hard to get out of those habits. I'm sick of it.
Back in the day, whenever like let's go back to before WWE and the Attitude Era even boomed. So I'm talking like right before. You guys remember Stable Wars where they had like Los Boricuas, Disciples of Apocalypse, the Nation of Domination. At least there you had an opportunity to see different guys wrestle and carry the storylines on. That's why the lack of stables and groups in WWE is a fundamental flaw that is fucking up their product. Because if there's a feud between Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory, that's all we're going to see is some fucking combination of Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. Whereas if he had the Hurt Business we could see Austin run through Shelton Benjamin, attack Cedric Alexander, have some other matches. That's one thing that some people knock AEW for, but I think AEW is doing right because I don't get bored with AEW's product, even though there's flaws, and we can get into those later.
Yep.
Yeah, there was.
But at least the matches are fresh. At least the feuds have different layers to them. You know what I mean? Like when Bryan Danielson ran through the entire Dark Order leading up to Hangman Page. Like,
all those little Easter eggs we talk about, all the breadcrumbs we mentioned last week that they do, that tie things together, the long-term booking that works, in my opinion, so much better over there. Yes, they got shitloads of stuff to work on.
They're doing it now. They're doing it right now as we speak.
And it was classic with the Jericho promo because obviously it was pre-taped, so they're thinking ahead because he's in the UK.
Yeah, and the pre-tape was fucking terrible.
Yeah, we'll get to that show. Now, these two here, I'm fans of both. I'm fans of a lot of people in WWE, but how it's been going down, I'm just had enough of it. Let me talk about Liv Morgan. She's one of my favorites. Right now, I've done a complete 180 on her.
Yeah.
After winning the title, it's not supposed to be that way. But here's my point. And Bully Ray put it best. And I listened to Busted Open yesterday. I heard Bully Ray say it. And he exemplified exactly what I was feeling because I love Liv Morgan. But now she's a champ. I feel like, here's what Bully Ray said from Busted Open. I feel like I'm watching someone who's playing a pro wrestler as opposed to being a pro wrestler.
Yep.
That's what she is.
I heard that comment.
Yeah.
And
I
her
agree.
promos are shit. She's hot. She's not a great wrestler. Let's not kid ourselves. How many big-time matches has she had? Like, I was always for, Liv needs a chance. Liv needs a chance. Give her a chance. She got screwed a couple times. And we've talked about her a lot. I'm a huge fan. I didn't like how it went down. CJ, did you get to see it?
I did. I thought the women's ladder match was complete trash. But the only thing I would have changed, I liked that Ronda's kind of giving her the nod to have her win it from her.
Yeah.
I feel like that she should have not been in the ankle lock or knee bar or whatever it was for that long.
Yeah. Amen. I've heard that too.
Ronda should have went for it, and Liv should have just rolled her up real quick right there. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I thought the cash-in was very heel-esque. So Liv Morgan's been the biggest babyface in the women's division as far as her actions and behaviors.
Yeah.
And the cash-in itself came off as very heelish. Obviously Ronda's beaten down. Like, I would have rather seen Liv still cash in, but Liv should have done the babyface thing and helped her up or whatever. You know what I mean? Still won with a flash victory. I mean, the flash victory roll up. That's the way it should be. Don't get me wrong. She shouldn't have come out and dominated Rousey. They shouldn't have had a 10-minute match.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just the way that it was done kind of brought her off heelish to me. I like the way that Ronda Rousey showed respect, even though she did it in the entire wrong way. Like, Ronda was up way too quick, way too she rushed everything in the ring to make it look kind of awkward.
Yeah.
As opposed to her being upset that she lost her title and then acknowledging Liv. And I agree with the comments of Bully Ray. She's been so far overly animated, and
her promo the whole time was, "Hey guys, you guys, I did it for you guys. I really want to."
And that's not her promo.
No,
that's another thing that Bully said.
She
was just reading off.
Yeah,
they fucking wrote for her.
Well, Doc, I want to pick your brain. Did you see the video? I'm gonna go on a positive note here on the cash in with Liv with Cole and McAfee.
Yes.
It's amazing. That's pure energy. It's emotion. What did you think, number one, about that call, that video, and our 2 Money in the Bank winners, Doc?
2 Money in the Bank winners. Theory, I was kind of but I kind of have a gut feeling what they're trying to do with Theory is, they kind of planted the seeds with John Cena. They were face-to-face. They're ready to get, and if you think about it, John Cena's he's known to screw people out of their Money in the Bank. Look what he did to Baron Corbin. I think Theory talks some shit. I think that he does the same thing, setting up him and Theory for the big pay-per-view match at SummerSlam.
No, not happening.
He's already facing Lashley. Yeah, they've already announced it. It's Lashley versus.
Yeah,
he's going to face Cena. Whether it's Rumble or Mania, it'll happen.
All right. So here's my take on Liv.
Go ahead.
I watched. I was happy for Liv. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you guys. I love the fact that Liv got the Money in the Bank. However, and I think a lot of people in the chat can agree with me. It was too early of a cash in. However, I like the fact that is there a possibility of an injury to Rousey? Was this an audible called? I mean, think about it. They've been calling audibles since Sasha and Naomi walked out. There's been so many damn audibles. It's been unreal. And I will say this, Ronda, I get, not letting go of the belt, then, they're giving her that rub, hey, I respect you. You did what you had to do. The fact of the matter is, Ronda had that shit cinched in. I'm cussing away thinking, oh, here we go. This is going to be a waste of – this was all a wasted moment.
They wanted you to think.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They played us like a fiddle. But the thing was, they showed that Liv had a little bit of strategic mastermind. Turn around and kicking that bad knee of the monster that is Ronda Rousey and then rolling her up because, she's grabbed her knee or, everything went off case and boom, 1, 2, 3. However, I will say this. I had a 7-year-old in going like this, like Ricky Bobby with his hands going, I don't know to cheer or be mad because, he had both his favorite women wrestlers in that moment. I thought it was kind of awesome. He looked at me and goes, Daddy, I honest to God don't know what to do. And I was like, it'll be okay.
It's a trend, obviously.
But Doc, here's the problem. The only person out of all of us that was truly entertained by that spot is a 7-year-old. And that is who WWE is writing for. They're writing for 7-year-olds. They're not writing for
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not like I said, I'm not even arguing with you.
Why not have a tag team match on Raw that involves Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey and have her cash in somewhere like that? I get for the pop on the show. It's just, like I said, it's not the babyface thing to do. You see the champion out there limping and can barely stand, and you're That's a heel thing.
Like Monstar says, I agree. Liv deserves the opportunity, but now that she's the champ, I'm super disappointed.
I like to see where they go with
good
it.
enough in the ring, and I think her mic skills are horrible. And I don't know. I fell out of love with her when she won the championship. It's not supposed to happen that way.
Her promos are subpar. However, I do think her work in the ring has come a long way.
It has.
Yes, very much come a long way. If you think about it, she was Ruby Riot's henchman. There was no ends of us about it. And then she started coming into her own. She started learning from people. And the thing is about
Becky were pretty good.
Yeah, they were. And the thing is, I respect her because the simple fact is, if you read the dirt sheets from backstage, she's always asking, "What do I need to do better?" She's always going to the girls saying, "Hey, the girls have been there longer. What's going on with you?" Oscar's worked with her a lot, and it shows.
How about this? You guys give me your impression on this. Something we've never seen from Liv, and it would be a complete 180, a fucking heel turn. I don't know how or why. It'd have to be a reason.
They don't need the heel turner right now.
But not yet.
The only thing that I fear with Liv Morgan right now is 100%. I feel that they're going to book her as a weak champion. Yep. They're going to book her poorly, and it's going to ruin any momentum she has built up with the fans.
She's a transitional champ. Maybe next thing you know, Charlotte's back at the next fucking pay-per-view and loses it.
Honestly, that's
I'm just waiting for that to happen.
That's the only way, in my opinion, to get Liv over.
Yes.
Charlotte should come back, and Liv should beat Charlotte clean.
And Liv,
Liv should roll. It's going to be a roll-up or something. It's not going to be a 1, 2, 3.
And I think Doc alluded to it, or maybe it was CJ, that Theory, Cena's been known to take people's Money in the Bank to screw them over, and there's already rumors that there's going to be a match for the briefcase between those two.
As far as Theory goes, I think it's the entire wrong choice. I think it's
Thank you.
Disagree.
I don't think it was time for it.
I agree. I agree.
I think it's too
let's get another person's opinion. Let's get good old Easy's in the building, working and getting that cash. What do you think about the Money in the Bank winners, buddy?
I think that Liv was the right decision because Rhea being hurt. And when Ronda said that in the interview that she gave on one of the podcasts, she's the one that actually pitched Liv beating her.
She did say that.
I'm all for that. As for Theory, I think I'm just coming into this conversation, but I'm guessing you all said when they announced him, you knew he was going to win.
Well, I mean, it was telegraphed for sure.
I had a bad gut feeling, but I thought maybe Riddle might have been able to do a kick at the end.
I really Riddle or Rollins.
I really thought Riddle was.
Riddle or Rollins.
Going over the results, we all picked anybody, but I picked Liv, which and I ended up winning more, and I got the title now for the picks, but that's irrelevant. I think these are good people to have, but I don't know why it's just hitting me sour for some reason.
You know why? Because these aren't your big names. These are the guys that they're trying to squeak through. And is it going to work? Probably not. Because WWE's built on the kids, the big guy angle, and that's what I keep.
Merchandise. Merchandise.
Don't get me wrong. I said earlier I was going to become the AEW only guy on here and stuff. I'm just sick of being disappointed. And trust me, WWE. I'm not anti WWE. It's going to make the most money. It's got the best production. It's worldwide, the biggest, the best, and all that.
I'll say this too. They always go about merchandise and stuff. And all I'm going to say is this real quick. Austin Theory's figure. Thank God I bought it when I did. I mean, it's very hard to find. He is making an impact. So I highly do think that this was, based on, okay, well, do we have ourselves the next whatever here? Do we have ourselves the next, I'll say it's Seth Rollins. Do we have ourselves the next John Cena? Could we build him into a face? Could we keep on doing a heel?
I don't disagree with you at all. And I think the kid has all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
I think he's a future superstar for sure.
Agree.
I think he's already kind of on that level. But you have him embroiled in a feud with Bobby Lashley. You have him with a potential feud with John Cena on the thing. What does that Money in the Bank briefcase? So, I mean, what does it do right now? It does nothing. He's not going to be challenging Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He's not going to be jumping on Roman Reigns.
No.
Unless they do a surprise SummerSlam cash-in. But are we going to put the Universal title on Theory at this point? I think it's way too early.
I agree.
I would have rather seen Riddle with the threat. Riddle or Rollins. Rollins has the history of cashing in during Brock and Roman Reigns. So that gives you tons of storylines for SummerSlam. Riddle, we know, but they built the last 6 months over Riddle chasing the bloodline. He was not allowed to have a title shot anymore. This is the loophole. Any of those gives you a great storyline to book for the next 4 to 6 months. And you hot shot Theory into it, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, next year maybe, or maybe if he beats Riddle in 4 months after the SummerSlam cycle, maybe in a Survivor Series match, and he beats one of them for it, that I would totally be for. I just don't. It doesn't benefit him at the moment. It really doesn't.
See. It was done a little differently, both of them. So it's at least I give them that credit. I'm looking for the positive because I didn't really like the pay-per-view, and I didn't really like.
I didn't either.
I didn't really like Liv.
The only match that was
Liv
good
being
was the tag match
for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought the tag match was phenomenal, though.
It was.
Yeah,
except for the ending.
We only got a few things in the first segment.
Finish got botched up a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know.
We the ones. Hey guys, by the way, it's a holiday today, right?
Yeah, it's NWO Day.
Yeah, happy Third Man Day.
Third Man Day, baby.
What you gonna do?
Let's go to a positive note, and we have a new TNT champion. It is Mr. Mayhem. I like that nickname better than Wardlow's World. I don't know. I got the Wayne's World vibe from it before.
It's fucking Wardlow's World, damn it. Strap that rocket right on his back and
give it to us first. We'll start with CJ. CJ, keep going. What do you think on Wardlow's and how it went down?
So happy. And I think that, even though Scorpio's working with the injury, he still looked pretty strong. So that was a good thing. And I love Wardlow to death. Obviously, I have personal ties. And I kind of agree a little bit with what Tommy Dreamer and Dave LaGreca were saying on Busted Open today. I would have liked to see him actually pin him and not use the foot on the chest.
Yeah, it's Doc, what did you take away from the title match and everything?
I hate to say it, but everything CJ said was to a T with me. I loved the match. I thought it was phenomenal. Yeah. It's exciting because he's a local guy and he's done a lot of the local promotions in this Pittsburgh area. But the thing that I was like, because I love Scorpio Sky. I think Scorpio Sky should have the AEW Heavyweight Championship.
I agree.
Super underrated. He's amazing. He's just a great all around promo. Yeah, him and Paige both. I'm not taking anything away from Ethan Page whatsoever. Plus, he's a fellow toy collector. But what I'm saying to you is, Scorpio Sky deserves credit because my God, he made Wardlow. I mean, Wardlow. Don't get me wrong. I'm taking nothing away from Wardlow, but he made him look amazing. Yeah. And the fact that he laid like that and let him pin him with that just shows.
And I get it because of how Wardlow's been doing that, running through people. I just would have liked to see him pin him. That's all.
I agree. I feel like it's a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Now you do that to a jobber, you do that to a dark guy. I have no problem with it. It makes Wardlow look like a monster, but in a championship match with a credible contender, I feel like it's a sign of respect to hook the leg and pin him correctly.
Yeah.
He did that to MJF too, though.
But I don't think it was meant as disrespect, obviously. And I'm
agree, it
sure
probably
Scorpio
wasn't meant
Sky
that
was
way.
okay with it.
And I'm
I
sure
agree,
Wardlow
it probably
protected
wasn't
him
meant
even
that
too,
way.
because he's a
100%.
veteran.
Mhm.
True.
To me, that's what it comes off as. Like,
Right.
and
right.
almost, if you watch that match, he looks down, and I think he second guessed doing it because I don't think Wardlow is.
I
That
think
type of
you're
dude.
right. Because
I
he
don't think
started
Wardlow's
to
that
go
type of
to
dude.
like cover him, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was extremely happy for Wardlow.
Yeah.
I don't have personal ties to him, even though he's a local guy. But I think the build that they've done with him has been phenomenal.
Yep.
I'm glad they're pulling the trigger on this, and I hope that that he has this build to go to that upper mid card level now where he
Yep.
should be.
Who would you put against him first, there, Ray? Who would you put him in a program with that you'd like to see him as a champion against in a program?
Well, to be honest, I would move right to his stablemate. I think Ethan Page should try to get revenge
Yep.
for Scorpio.
Absolutely.
I think they'd have great matches. And then I want to see him work that upper mid card. Like, I want to see him defend against Babyface. Like, I think this should be a 6 to 9 month title run where
Absolutely.
he's defending every week on television, or at least every other week.
Yeah,
on
no
one of the
disrespect to
shows.
Scorpio Sky, like Doc said, but this guy's he could take that TNT title to another level.
Yeah.
Do you
And it's
see
been
any-
a joke up until now.
Yeah, it has.
And right now, the
no.
Off and on.
I disagree.
I don't like
CJ.
Except
I
for
don't think-
whenever except for when Miro had it.
See,
And
okay, Miro, and I will say yes. Fuck Sammy, but I
that's
will
the
say
feud, though. That right there is your feud.
Yeah.
For
But-
the next 4 to
Yeah.
6 months, Wardlow needs to run through people until Miro decides that he wants his title back.
Yeah,
And
John
then
Moxley, yes, sir,
those
same
two
thing.
will have a phenomenal
Absolutely.
But-
feud.
Yeah.
I agree completely with the Miro thing. But I was going to say, guys, like I said, like if you look at it, I thought Cody gave a premise. I mean, Brody Lee, of course,
Yeah.
Yeah, Brody,
two.
definitely Brody.
He gave that title promise.
But just the way
Sammy,
it bounced around.
I know.
The
Mark
only
Miro, I
problem-
thought. Hold
The
on.
only problem I have is Sammy.
Okay. Also, I like the way that they changed the belts according to champ. Like, Darby made it black. Brody kept it red. So did Cody. I love how Miro made it like the. Help me out here, nationality wise. I know not
Russia.
Russian. Yeah,
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian collars.
Do you think they keep doing
What?
that, Doc? Do you
I
like-
hope they do because
Yeah.
I love the Scorpio Sky
need-
LA Laker type
Yeah.
belt. That was badass, and I hope they sell that. But I will say, I could see Wardlow make it like that deep green and black like he likes to wear. I'd love to see a title like that. I would like that. I think it was from me and my kid were talking about this last night. What is Wardlow going to make the belt different?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I dig it. Speaking of belts different, I think I might have lined it up next. Today, I think I read that we saw this picture last week. This will now be a traveling championship.
Yes.
Love it.
Nice.
He's going to defend it in Rev Pro this weekend in London against Shoto Umino, who we were introduced to at Forbidden Door. I fell in love with the dude.
He's defending
Yes.
it at OTT also.
And then he's defending it Dublin, Ireland, 7/22 against LJ Cleary in Ireland and London. So it's going to be a traveling title. Ray, go ahead, spit out. What do you think about this title being a
Love it.
traveling title?
One thing, one complaint people had is that there's too many belts, blah 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 blah. But having this international flavor title with AEW doing this Forbidden Door, saying that not only is our door open for NJPW, but our door is now open for one of our champions to defend at other things, and obviously he's going to defend on AEW TV. Hopefully, not always against, but frequently against people that we don't get to normally see as wrestling fans in the U.S. Bringing somebody in from England, bringing somebody in from South Africa, bringing somebody in from Japan, whatever. And having, obviously he's going to have feuds based with other AEW roster members. But I love the idea of getting to regularly see other people and also the chance for other people to see him defend an AEW title at other shows is awesome. Especially when you have a guy like Pac who lives in England anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with travel restrictions and stuff like that. And what's to say that they don't have a deal? I mean, Rev Pro has professional production. So what's to say they don't put that on YouTube or put that on Rampage of Pac defending against, whoever he's against? You know what I mean? Like a lot of indies have decent production value now too, that they could air that shit on YouTube and air that shit on TV.
Doc, I'm gonna double it up on you, and I'm gonna bring a little controversy in here, and we're gonna talk about the belt. And tell me what you think, because we've talked about the addiction stuff, the Hardy stuff, the Jeff Hardy stuff, and Cage's comment this week. So first of all, the belt first, and then give me some thoughts on the Cage.
You mean the belt that Pac's holding right now?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool that he gets to defend it wherever he wants to. Just different areas. I love the fact that that AEW still gets their name out there. Hey, this is our champion, and the simple fact is that Pac, what a way to, what a representative of that title. So he's wrestled all over the world already. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how long that belt stays around his waist. I'm excited.
There is precedence for them doing this too. If you remember, way back in the first AEW pay-per-view, they actually aired a match with Hangman Page and Pac from, I don't even remember what federation it was, but they aired the match in its entirety on their YouTube, and it was cool as shit because it was just something totally different that you weren't expecting. They were supposed to verse each other at the pay-per-view, but then, something happened that they couldn't. So they just aired the match from an indie and did it in indie. Like, how fucking cool is that?
It's awesome. It's amazing. And what was the second question?
The second one,
Hardys.
And I want CJ's thoughts on this too.
All right.
Yeah.
CJ, do you want to go first or you want to go second?
Yeah, I'll go first. Monster,
I
think, was the one that said, how do you feel about it? To me, like, it's in bad taste, but personally, I'd be okay with it because it wasn't meant as malice. It's a wrestling show, and I'm sure Christian doesn't really personally outside of wrestling feel that way about it. So I'm okay with it.
It seems like something that was cleared.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian is friends with the Hardys.
Yeah,
they've been friends for 20 years.
What type of reaction did it get?
And that's
everyone's like,
it got such a reaction. So
that's Christian's new thing. He's going to cross the line here and there, I guess. And with their permission, I don't see a problem with it. Doc?
No.
The bottom line is the number one heel in AEW since the beginning has been MJF. There's no ands and buts about it. You can't take that away. Well, I mean, a little bit with Omega, but still, it's been MJF. However, to get somebody to forget about something, you have to kind of throw something in its place. And that's what they're exactly doing with Christian Cage right now. Christian Cage has the mouth. He has the controversial attitude. He has that where you want to look at him and just say, fuck you, die.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what they're doing now is they are doing whatever they can. You look about it. They took the child's hero, the dinosaur, and they made him bad. My kid.
I love the new Luchasaurus.
I do too.
I love it.
I can imagine the conversations you and Bodie are having.
Oh, Bodie took his wrestling buddy and chucked it. Said, "I don't even want to look at him. He won't even watch him come out to the ring. Like he literally puts his back."
I actually like him better now.
I do too, but the simple fact is, you took that child's hero in AEW. You took to quote Cody Rhodes, the goddamn dinosaur, and you legit made him the goddamn dinosaur.
And it's such a good pre-built-in story going forward with him and Jungle Boy.
Yes, and it shows how manipulative he is. I mean, if you look at manipulative, look back at MJF. How long did he manipulate the TNT champion?
I like to manipulate her.
Look,
hold on.
Don't get there yet. Don't get there yet.
Hold on. So what I'm trying to say is
what was next.
I know I'm trying to. Goddamn. What I'm trying to say is this. You guys look at what's happening right now. Is anybody thinking about MJF? Fuck no.
You know what?
It's great because they're either setting up for a huge comeback, or they're saying, you know what, take your bags and go to Connecticut.
We did this shit with Bray Wyatt.
Go suck off easy.
For how long?
What's that?
Yeah, we've been doing this shit with Bray Wyatt. When's he coming back?
I don't think.
Still waiting. You know.
I'll be honest. I don't think this has jack shit to do with MJF.
No.
Christian has one of the, and we've said this when he left WWE for TNA 20 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever it was. Christian has one of the best minds in professional wrestling. He's one of the best promos in professional wrestling.
Yep.
And he always has been. The only difference is right now is ever since the Kenny Omega match that he had for the title, which was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's been misused and kind of lying in wait just because they didn't need him. But now we have this rash of injuries. We have Kenny Omega out. We got Bryan Danielson out. We got Adam Cole out. So who do we – obviously Punk. So who do we give the fucking ball to? Christian. Who's going to score a fucking touchdown? Christian. Why? Because he's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they're gonna let him do his thing.
Yeah.
So you have no recourse that this could be anything like to try to get.
Not at all.
I mean,
I
it fills the void of what we're missing from MJF and them types of promos. If
That
that's what
concept.
He's filling the void of the top heel. Christian is the top heel in this company right now.
Yeah.
Fight me on it. Best promo, most talked about thing on the show.
No arguments here.
No arguments. I'm not saying
Best heel in the company right now.
Yeah.
He is.
And yes, that is a spot that was MJF's. But you want to take your ball and go home. Somebody else, next man up mentality is going to take over. Do I think
that's the wrestling business?
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, do you think Tony Khan went to Christian and said, I want you to take this spot, blah, 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 blah? No, this storyline had to have been building for a while. They've been teasing that Christian turn for 4
just like
months.
the Wardlow one.
You know,
Yeah,
so this was planned either way.
I was going to say, I don't think it happened because of all the injuries. It was going to happen.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So
yeah,
it was happening at a very good time though because of the injuries.
The only difference is now with that whole top end of the card out, Christian sees that and he's like, "All right, motherfuckers, let me turn this shit to 10."
I mean, he did.
He's
the thing is,
more, or is he just going to be the guy?
He's going to be that mastermind on the mic. That's
I'm
all you need him for.
I'm fine with that here and there.
At Christian's age, and I'm not saying granted he was gone for years, but since he's been back in the ring, he's looked fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's lost a step. Nope. But I don't, just like MJF is the top heel, I don't need to see him wrestle every week. I need to see him wrestle in big matches and get his ass kicked as payoff.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this, guys. Yeti had a good point. If you look over in the comments about, you turned the dinosaur into Godzilla, and that's exactly what they did. Because But the thing is, Christian Cage is the puppeteer right now, and yes, you have Luchasaurus, who's Godzilla, but he's also not only is he unhinged, but he is kind of under the control, the mastermind, which is Christian Cage. And we've seen Christian Cage manipulate numerous times when he was in WWE, for that one more match. So what I'm trying to say is
the manager. We'll get into that a little bit later.
I agree with Monster.
Yeah.
But like I said, he is right where he needs to be. He could wrestle when he wants, and if he doesn't, he just sends in his monster to clean up like he did last night again when Matt Hardy kind of.
It's intriguing. It's a great little story.
I love it.
However, I will comment on what you were saying about is it cool or is it not cool? My heart like sunk for a minute because I was like, holy shit. And this is exactly what I saw. I looked over. I hate to I'll put the kid over. He's sitting there and he just goes like this. The TV's this way. He just goes, looks at me. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. He goes, Dad. I was like, yeah.
Look, wished death on his whole family last week.
Look, I was going to say it's not any different than what he's been doing already. He's already.
No, it's not even nearly as bad as
he already threatened to bang Jungle Boy's mom.
Yeah,
he wished death upon the whole family.
What's next? I can't wait to see what he says next week.
And about the Matt Hardy stuff, obviously this would have been went over. Obviously this would have been okayed. But if Jeff is going to come back, and that's an if at this point, Tony Khan has said that this is the last straw even for AEW. Yeah. He's in rehab right now, but if he's going to come back, the only way the redemption story is a redemption story is if the adversity is built. Yeah. So everything that's happened with Jeff Hardy right now is essentially off air. So if you're not reading the dirt sheets, if you're not, one of those guys who follow the outside news of wrestling, then you might not know exactly what happened. You just know that they were supposed to be in a match and then they weren't.
Yeah.
And even Matt Hardy's promos on the subject have been, they never come out and said it. So Christian coming out and putting that on television gives you a soundbite for when Jeff comes back of the redemption story.
Yeah. If anything, I think like we talked about last week, and we're all advocates of, people that have dealt with alcohol problems, drug problems, et cetera, et cetera. If anything, this does bring awareness to it. And if we do get that heroic comeback story, it's the end result that's going to matter more than the bad things Christian is saying now. It's going to add fuel to the fire. I agree, man.
I mean, it's all good in the long run. And hopefully Jeff is able to battle the demons and come back a changed man.
Just
they're setting it up for him to come back.
Could you imagine if, you got those two in a ring and Luchasaurus gets on the outside, gets tied up with whoever, and he looks over and there's Jungle Boy on one side and Jeff Hardy on the other. That crowd is going to blow the fucking roof off that building. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Although I don't think that in the confines of this feud that we should see Jeff. I think Jeff needs a good 6 months to a year away. to get through his shit and work through it before
he needs to get some time in recovery under his belt before
I would
even
actually
thinks of coming back.
No more Sin City pay-per-views for him either.
We wish
Because Vegas changes you.
If we're being 100% honest, I want to see Matt Hardy get manipulated by Christian and become a part of his new little group.
I'm with that, actually.
So yesterday she said bye to WWE, the 7th. She is now a free woman. Does anybody have any thoughts on where she might end up going or where she might end up doing anything still in wrestling or not? Anyone even care?
Gotta be
CJ's bedroom.
Oh. Yeah, I'd be okay with that
I'll take
too.
that.
But I don't know if I could live up to the genetic jackhammer of Brad Maddox and
Xavier Woods.
Internal roster of WWE finally leaked that Sasha and Naomi are finally off the internal roster there too. So there's 3 ladies that are out in the blue. I mean that. Just imagine if they would get all 3 in AEW. That would kind of change their women's division.
I don't want all 3.
I don't want all 3.
I don't think they should. I'm just saying. I want her too, but she doesn't even have to be like a wrestler. I hope she can fight.
I think Trinity Fatu is going to sit for a little bit, and I mean, with her husband being in,
she'll be back.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
However, I see her and Mercedes on their way to AEW because I feel like Mercedes could really
I
push.
want her in Impact. Actually,
I'd like to see her in Impact too. I mean, I'd like to see her anywhere. Just the simple fact to see what. Without being scripted, what could she do without that? Let's see what we can do. You know what I mean?
Just like Daniel Bryan was hurt for so long and finally came back. Edge was hurt for so long and finally got to come back. I want to see what she can do if she can finally come back.
Listen, we have ROH, which we've thrown the idea around of Maria being the general manager of Ring of Honor. What if Saraya signed and was your color commentator for ROH? You had a more female forward kind of presence there with that until she is either cleared. If she is cleared, I don't know if she is right now or not. But until she can get cleared, we could get her on TV. She's a huge fucking star.
Yeah,
I mean, she had the movie with The Rock. She was, during WWE's last boom, she was one of the big stars. I mean, she definitely has the name and notoriety to help the ROH brand.
Oh, for sure.
And then whenever it's time for her to wrestle again, she could float wherever. But I definitely think that AEW should sign her. And I think that they'll roll out the red carpet for Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I think they should. I think,
but I agree with Doc. Fatu sits.
Yeah, I think Trinity comes back. I think she comes back for the bloodline. But they're already talking about bringing Solo Sikoa up.
I'm good with that.
I'm definitely fine with that.
I like him.
Yeah, make the
even though
I want something new for the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of bloodlines, I didn't know they played on the same team together.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They were roommates and teammates, and Pat McAfee signing that multi-million-dollar year deal today or yesterday.
McAfee is. I wish he would wrestle more, to be honest, because he's like a really good fucking worker, and he gets it.
They say that some of that emotion that we saw in that Cole video is from what McAfee's been doing, like letting Cole be himself and really bring it out. And I love those two together. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Pittsburgh connection with like McAfee and Corey. I think those are my 2 favorite announcers besides the fact that
here's why Pat McAfee has went on record about his commentary. He is not given scripts. He is not. Nobody really chimes into his ear much.
How did he get there?
He takes the cue from Michael Cole, who we obviously know Michael Cole. Like, I mean, that's the head of announcing. He's scripts and does everything. But the reason that it's feeding off is the same fucking reason that I criticize and bash WWE so much. They're letting him be genuinely him.
Yeah.
I don't care if Pat McAfee is on the stage at the draft dissing Tennessee. I don't care if it's on his podcast. I don't care if he's a guest on the Rich Eisen show. The motherfucker is entertaining.
Yes.
He understands entertainment. He understands timing. He has an infectious personality and charisma. And that's what makes SmackDown enjoyable as far as the commentary. And they're not taking that away from him. But yet they'll choke the shit out of a wrestler and take every goddamn thing that makes them unique. Like, it's literally in your own company. You're seeing it work. You're seeing how much that it rubs off on other employees, but you're still fucking around with everybody else.
Yep.
Pat McAfee is money. I don't care where he is. If you put him on Monday Night Football, he'd be the best commentator in Monday Night Football history.
So maybe you guys
SmackDown, he's the best.
Maybe you guys know more than me, and I want Doc's opinion on this the most. Still doing announcing, knowing the outcome of the matches or having raw emotion from your announcers. Which do you prefer?
Raw emotion. I mean, there's times that people that I work with purposely don't tell me shit just to get my raw emotional reaction. Because, like I said, they didn't. I had a friend of mine. Happy birthday, by the way, to John Roden. John Roden turned on Jamie Jameson, who was the 2PW heavyweight champion, causing him to lose the belt to Jason Gorey. However, Roden was supposed to have his back, everything. And I'm reading what's going on. And next thing I know, Roden turns around and just clotheslines him. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was so real and so good that they were like, Doc, we had to do it to you. We're sorry. And I was like, all right. And it was awesome. It was a really good reaction that myself and the heel commentator, Tony Kincaid, had. So
I wonder how much
I get it.
I wonder how much they do know. Like Ray was alluding to, they're like, Cole probably knows more, but do you think he knows all the outcomes of the matches?
Cole knows everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat has said flat out that he does not go to WWE production meetings. He has a one-on-one with Cole before they go out, just to for him to go over shit. But he does not go to the production meeting. He does not know what's happening. Other than his cues and shit like that, he does not want to know the outcomes.
Cool.
And in my opinion, that's the way an announcer should be. Yes,
Agreed.
you're play-by-play man. You're a straight guy, like what Doc does. You have to know everything. You have to know what's coming. You have to know if that's the finish. You kind of have to know. Now, some things can be withheld from you, like Doc said about a heel turn. But like you have to know the basis of the show because you have to call it correctly.
Yeah.
But your color guy needs to, in my opinion, needs to have that raw emotion. If we go back and look at some of the greatest moments in history, today is NWO Day, the day Hogan joined. Bobby fucking Heenan
Fucked up,
and he's one of my favorite color guys. But as Hogan's coming down to the ring, Bobby's yelling, "Is he the third man? Is he the third man?" Like that could have ruined it, and probably did ruin it for some people at that point. Because why would you even suggest that until it fucking happened?
They should have said not a fucking word until he made the turn.
Bobby should have been, I hate Hulk Hogan, but there's no way he'd turn his back, blah, blah, blah. And pumping this fact that Hulk Hogan is the real American hero and he's here for WCW. But no, Bobby's throwing, and that's happened many times. Zbyszko used to do that shit. Yeah. Bobby's done that shit.
And let's talk
Sometimes you need to not know.
JR. I love JR to death, but man.
I love how they're toning him down, though. They're bringing him late.
Yeah,
they're not doing a whole show. They're trying
to more.
They're realizing that he's, the name is still recognizable and everything.
Bobby Heenan, Bobby Heenan actually did say, whose side is he on? And I was like, I mean, I kind of get where, like, against all odds is saying over there. But it's the simple fact is, guys, and CJ could back me up on this because we've been in meetings together. CJ's also an agent backstage. Doc, emphasize this. Do not fucking touch this.
Yeah.
We love you.
Don't bring this up. Right, exactly.
Or in CJ's words, if you bring this up, dude, I'll fuck your face. And I'm like,
pretty much.
Like it is.
I never got to talk to you about this, Doc, but one of my favorite commentators is Mauro Ranallo. I love Mauro, and I
like Mauro too.
I like him too. A little over the top.
But that's what makes him.
When he's jumping up and down,
I think over the top works for McAfee, but for me, it didn't work for Mauro.
I like Mauro's little tidbits that he always had.
Well, the pop culture thing, you mean? Yes.
Good stuff.
See, I do that, but I go like cutting edge a little bit, and sometimes they like it, and sometimes they don't. Like one dude got thrown over the ring, and I was like tossed out faster than R. Kelly at a senior prom, and people love that.
Yeah,
people love that.
Bipolar. Mauro,
because I mean, let's be honest.
Mauro has bipolar disorder.
Bipolar.
Yes, he does. And
wrestling is pop culture, so it's
superhero.
It makes sense to bring up stuff like that.
So let's talk about this show. This is now not happening at all.
All right, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick while you guys talk about.
So I saw this little thing come up, and it was actually Moose that was going to take place of Braun Strowman at one point, but then now Nia pulled out and Mana pulled out. You see other people probably not going. Now they're not having a show at all. So this is
apparently there's a management company that Moose, Eric Young, 4 or 5 of the people that are on this show, they actually are the booking agents for those guys. And they told the promoters or the management of this company, like, we need paid in full. We need air flight stuff, like 30 days ago. And those guys got their shit. Apparently, a few of the other wrestlers were paid like a portion of what their deposit was, things like that. But a 10,000 seat venue, they sold 400 tickets from what I saw.
Yeah, and it started out in India and then go to London and then I just wanted to bring it up that seems like that fell apart.
It didn't start in India. The financial backers were supposed to be from India.
Yeah.
But the shows were always supposed to be in the UK. But this is exactly the problem you have when people who don't know what the fuck they're doing try to run a show. We've seen this on the indie level as far as like a small level hundreds of times where somebody who doesn't know how to book or doesn't know the business side tries to run a promotion. And it's always a fucking shit show.
I thought maybe it would have promise from some of the names and stuff. I mean, maybe someone else.
I was interested in it. I'm
Me
not gonna
too.
lie. Based on the card that they put out, the very first card, I was hoping for it. But again, you have a promotion being ran by wrestlers, which is not a bad thing. But you have a promotion being ran by wrestlers who never worked a fucking indie show. They only ever worked for WWE. These guys weren't traveled superstars who did shows everywhere and you know what I mean, and built a name for themselves before. So they didn't have the ties. That's why the entire card was ex-WWE guys. They obviously must not have had good enough financial backers. And the only way this show was fucking promoted was on Instagram. I didn't see shit about it on Facebook.
Yeah,
I didn't see shit about it on TikTok. I didn't see shit about it on Snapchat.
Well, you might not ever see shit about it again.
I believe this will be it for them. It'll be under some other name or something else.
We're going to move into the Flair segment next, but I saw this match announced yesterday. The Young Von Erichs versus the Briscoes. And we saw FTR challenge the Briscoes, which is now going to happen in ROH. So we got the Flair pay-per-view coming up, the ROH pay-per-view coming up, a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to come up to our next segment.
You want a spoiler for the Flair pay-per-view? I promise you it's not going to be his last match.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, I think he's already on record saying that.
He's had 7 last matches already.
Yeah.
New Terry Funk.
So if that's the case, and I pay for this pay-per-view, which I will not, I want my fucking money back because it's not Ric Flair's last match.
Well, all right, let's get to Flair here.
The undercard itself looks pretty good.
It does look good.
We'll get more when it gets closer. I'll get all the matches and we'll talk them over. Let's talk about the managers of Ric Flair and our Sixth Senses.
Yeah, they can move to this. Your soul man, they can move to this. It's brand new. Open your eyes and realize it's the new guys. Y'all can make.
CJ's got me all bent out of shape now with those logos. I got to change them all because it's for.
Oh, jeez. It's rope. Oh, what?
It's an extra fucking rope, damn it.
Oh, God
I'll
damn
just
it.
go in and edit a rope out. It would still look ridiculous.
Fucking purist motherfucker.
All right, these are Flair's managers. There's actually 7, plus there's a whole bunch side of them too. I got to open one video at a time.
One in my ear,
on
Daddy.
Laptop. So there we go. All right. So first of all, Arn and Ole at some point had managed Rick. So that's not really a surprise. I'm sure they did many a times as the Horsemen, et cetera, et cetera. Whenever Flair went to Japan, his little thing, he had Hiro Matsuda as a manager for a little bit there.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't remember that till I saw this picture.
You know?
I do kind of remember. I did a little bit once I saw the picture. I was like, that's right. He did have the Oriental guy with him for a while. I didn't know who it was. Kurt Hennig was a manager for him for a little bit. I think that's WWE part. I don't remember that.
Whenever he came in with Bobby the Brain and Kurt Hennig,
Yeah.
Well,
during the whole Savage feud.
The next one's a whole bunch of people. It's the ladies. You got Baby Doll, Deborah, Elizabeth, Woman, Sherry, and even Fifi, his wife. One
His
of his
first wife, or
I don't know how many wives he's had.
5.
Baby Doll first. Let's see. There's a nice little crew there. Deborah.
More
Woman,
than he's had
and
world
Elizabeth.
championships.
There's been a lot of rides on Space Mountain.
Yes. Well, he's got to have the ladies around him.
I don't think he was with any of these.
IWC, I can't.
No.
I cannot.
Yeah, we can't call her out. No, don't.
And
I know what I'm talking about.
I think it was an attempt.
That was an attempt. He
He
didn't
failed.
There's
It was
Fifi.
unsuccessful, but yeah.
Was that actually his wife?
Yeah, he married her.
Oh, wow. God bless him.
I don't know who he's married to now. It's probably
Nobody.
No,
He's
he-
shift the
There's
voice.
Sherry. Oh, that's right. He's a free agent.
Sherry, do you have the robe picture?
The what picture?
robe picture, the robe where he took a picture after they,
Nope. No,
you know, like
one you got for Sherry.
What do you eat her like a squirrel? What the fuck?
After they what?
oh my god, dude! It's like she has no clothes on. She has the robe, and she's all like you can see that she just had herself a hell of a night on Space Mountain, and he took a picture of her in his robe. I cannot stop laughing at that. Oh, that's amazing.
Jimmy Hart. We're down to the final three. This is the top.
Oh man,
Jimmy Hart.
We have one glaring omission here that's really bugging me.
We're not there yet. Hold on, we got a couple more. Jimmy Hart. And we got Bobby Heenan.
Of course, yeah, Bobby Heenan. Yeah, from WWE. He brought him in.
And then you have JJ.
Yeah,
the best.
Number one.
Greatest.
Man behind the whole horse.
Man, damn it, this bugs me. Look. Okay, Doc, you just said the greatest, the best. JJ Dillon behind the scenes legitimately managed the Four Horsemen. He booked their hotels. He booked their flights. He was their legit manager. But on camera, I'm sorry, I'd never liked JJ.
He
cut
did.
A great promo.
He fought a couple. Do you guys remember getting him in a ring a couple times?
Yes, I can remember a great match when he managed more than just a Four Horsemen, and he managed, I think, Manny Fernandez.
Yeah.
No, Cowboy Ron Bass. He was a face then.
I thought it was
he beat Manny fought Abdullah the Butcher, Starrcade 85, and it was a Mexican hat match. However, JJ Dillon was managing, I think it was Cowboy Ron Bass or
Ron Bass.
Outlawed, yeah.
Ron
and
Bass.
all I know is it was a cowbell on a strap match, and then if Ron Bass lost, JJ Dillon had to fight. I think it was Sam Houston, and he got 5 minutes with him with the belt. And I mean, he was busted open and everything. Beat the shit out of him. It was amazing. I still have that video. I wish I could get it transferred to DVD because it's like one of the best pay-per-views I ever saw.
My thing with him with the Horsemen, though, which is what he's the most known for, obviously, and that's what we're talking about right here, was just that he was overshadowed by some of the best in the world. Like, nobody cuts, at that time anyways, a better promo than Flair or Arn or Tully.
Yeah.
And when he would get on the mic, he would kind of suck the fucking emotion out of it because he just wasn't on their level.
Yeah.
Now, I know behind the scenes, they probably needed the fuck out of him because they were running hard, partying, you know. But it just always, I don't know, he always seems subpar to me, like he wasn't the, like 9 times out of 10 when you see a manager, like when you see Bobby Brain with any iteration of his stable or who he was managing, Bobby was the promo. Bobby was the guy. And that just kind of always bugged me about JJ. Not that I dislike him or anything like that or discount what he did. It's just he was stuck out like a sore thumb because he didn't have that badass charisma that the rest of the Four Horsemen did in those times.
Oh, by the way, apologize. It was Black Bart and Ron Bass. Ron Bass was the face. Black Bart was the heel. And Bass ended up winning. And what happened was he got to fight Dillon. However, Black Bart came back in, interfered, and put JJ Dillon. So actually, Ron Bass lost to JJ Dillon that night.
Taco, thank you for the membership, my friend. You're awesome. Jeremy, you're the man. I appreciate you, my friend.
Worldwide.
Now, I found a ton of lists of people that managed Ric Flair. Now, I found a bunch of lists. I didn't realize how many people that he managed. Now, obviously, Evolution. So he was managing, helping, in their corner a lot of times. And then in Impact or TNA, The Fortune, he was managing all these guys, coming with them at ringside for a while. So I knew that. I did not know, and you guys might have more detail. When was he Stone Cold's manager?
I don't really think he was his manager, but I think he was the owner of Raw, wasn't he?
Yeah, they were co-owners or something.
So that's when it was in the beginning. But they have him listed as that he basically must have come to the ring with him a couple times and was at ringside as his manager. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it's on the list. Big Show as a manager for Ric Flair. So
I don't recall that either.
I don't know.
So Flair managed all these guys.
I don't know.
Carlito. He was the manager for.
Was he?
That's the same situation as like the Miz thing. They had an alignment for like a few weeks or whatever, but it was never like he was really the manager.
Well, he definitely managed his boys.
Like so with the Miz, like with the Miz, he was only like he taught him the figure 4 was the storyline or whatever, and gave him permission to use it, but I don't think he were ever like the true
officially,
manager.
yeah, right.
Yeah, David Flair never progressed from that. I'm taking. He never.
His chin never developed or his wrestling skills.
So he managed his kids. He was the.
I saw him work a show in Pittsburgh. Daphne, God rest her soul. That was the That was
the AJ Palumbo Center.
Yes,
I was there.
It was so awesome. And then
with
Flair,
super hentai.
Yep. Oh man. Probably need an extra seat.
When he was Desmond Wolfe, part of that crew over in TNA, he managed.
He's not Desmond Wolfe to me, damn it.
I know.
It'll always be Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah.
Rob Terry, he managed in TNA.
Oh Jesus.
I do remember that actually.
Yeah. He managed most of these guys. He managed in TNA when they had him there. He was strictly a manager. There's Matt Hardy. He was his manager for a little while.
I don't remember that either.
Nope. And then Gunner. He was Gunner's manager in TNA.
Moving on.
Oh,
and he was Andrade's manager in AAA.
I do know that.
Managing him again soon too. He's got another one. The Miz he managed, like you mentioned that earlier. But he did manage him. And then the final two here, Lacey Evans recently, and of course the last one, his daughter.
Well, they managed. Was he managing her, or was he just fucking her?
Both.
That's Rick's baby, by the way.
Oh damn it!
It's your baby. We're going to get into our final segment because it ties right into that. We're going to talk about have you seen his commercial for his wings?
Have you seen it for his Viagra?
No.
Woo Wings! It's Woo Wings! It's such a bad commercial.
There's a commercial for the Viagra now.
Yes, it's Viagra.
Blue Chew, baby. Blue Chew. Sponsor us.
Oh, my God. All right, one more segment.
Blue Chew makes the ladies go.
Blaze. I don't know if I mentioned this yet or not, but that graphic.
It's 4 ropes, yeah. I know. I'm going to add a 5th one just to be a dick. The greatest managers of all time. And I found a top 10, so this is a legit top 10 from Bleacher Report. You can debate it. You can tell me otherwise. There is a list at the end of honorable mentions, so don't hold the...
Is this in order?
Yes, this is number 10, Miss Elizabeth, who managed Macho Man.
Nope, way higher.
All right. Well, I argue a couple of the ones that are 4 and 5.
LA.
Sherry.
She never cut a fucking promo.
Sherry was managed Flair, Savage, Honky Tonk Man, Jake Roberts, Ted DiBiase, Harlem Heat.
Tatanka. She also managed Tatanka.
Yeah, there you go. Now her, I would definitely...
Shawn Michaels.
She's more of a manager.
Yeah.
Now, this one I'd probably have a little bit higher. But especially because of the reasons that Ray said too, but they had him at number 8, JJ Dillon.
I'd go higher on him.
No, who else did he manage? A Horseman we know.
Lower.
You were mentioning other names. Did he manage
Black Bart? Black
Okay.
Bart, he mentioned. There's a couple others. I just can't really.
But he was main. I mean, when you got the Horseman, you don't really need anybody else.
Okay.
At number 8, number 7, and I'll show the list at the end, I believe, so you can look at it too. And Paul Bearer at number 7
should be higher.
Higher.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're just gonna play higher. We're gonna play higher. Or lower.
Yeah, you tell me when we get to the end. You tell me who you would take out of the top 6.
mean,
I did the same thing that you guys are doing.
Not only did he manage the Undertaker, but in every place else where he was Percy Pringle, he managed every fucking body.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Good point. Here's an old school one. Classy, Freddie Blassie.
That's on that geeks.
Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Peter Maivia, Adrian Adonis, Jesse Ventura. Just the name of few.
Okay, he brought Hogan in. Come on.
And that's number 6, Freddie Blassie. I argued some of these too, and then I looked at the end. Paul Heyman, number 5.
Bullshit.
Higher.
He should be higher.
Back when he was Midnight Express, Austin back then, Adonis,
way higher.
His best work as a manager, though, has been the last 10 years.
Listen,
he sold without his guy even being at the fucking show.
Big ass phone. Yeah. Come on, the big ass phone.
Yeah, big phone.
Dangerously.
He's top 3.
Yes.
All right, you'll tell me who you take out because it's not as easy as you think. Jimmy Hart at number 4.
Lower.
Okay. Hart Foundation, Honky Tonk Man, Hogan, Bundy, and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
I don't take anything away from Jimmy Hart. I think he's fucking phenomenal. But Paul Heyman is better than Hart.
Yes.
Paul Heyman can cut a promo and captivate a fucking audience.
Agreed. Heyman should be top 3. I agree. Captain Lou Albano at number 3. This dude made stars back then.
Lower.
Bulldogs, Samoans, head shrinkers.
On it, but lower.
Yeah, I mean,
Love
don't get me
him,
wrong.
top 10 for sure. But
Yeah.
So Dylan and Heyman, I would move up too. I'm kind of with you guys on that. JJ Dillon and Heyman, I would definitely move up into the top 5. Number 2, Jim Cornette.
All right, I'll take that because Cornette was such a dick.
Vader and British Bulldog. Yeah, he took the manager to such a dickish level.
Yeah.
I mean, with the tennis racket
falling from the fucking scaffolding.
He's still doing it 50 years later. He's still a dick. He's still in character 50 years later. And then number 1, we talked about him before, and we'll bring him back. The Brain, Bobby Heenan.
All right, Heenan family. I mean, just the prestige.
That.
Yeah, Heenan is definitely number 1, no matter what.
Yeah.
For me, it would be Heenan number 1, Heyman number 2,
Perfect.
Cornette number 3.
All right, there you go. Rearrange the list, Ray.
Look, 1 Heenan, 2 would be Paul, 3 would be Jim Cornette, 4 would be Jimmy Hart, 5 would be Paul Bearer, 6 would be Blassie where he is.
I can't hold this in. Where the fuck is Mr. Fuji?
Where he should be, not on the list.
Dude, Fuji's not.
Fuck yourself.
Hey, you want to get even angrier, Doc? He's not even in the honorable mention list.
Miss Elizabeth should not be there.
Thank you.
Dr. Anus Tickler's in the building.
What the hell? No.
Joey, good to see you, Joey. Hey, take it up with Bleacher Report. All right, let's talk about those who were not in it. Honorable mention. Now, listen, Billy Sandow was the first ever manager in pro wrestling. Billy Sandow, and yes, Damien got his last name from the first ever manager, Billy Sandow. 1884 to 1972, the guy lived. He also
never even heard of the name.
He wrestled as the Zebro. I'm educating you. He wrestled as the Zebro Kid in 1951.
Educate these nuts.
He was the manager of Ed the Strangler Lewis, the first ever.
But
I mean, on that list, Bill Alfonso, Brother Love, Baby Doll, Bischoff, Gary Hart, the Genius, the Grand Wizard. I loved the Grand Wizard back in the day.
Listen,
Kevin Sullivan was evil as hell. Lana,
of the list, though,
Maria.
Of the list, though, if you look down the list, okay, like Gary Hart and Skandar Akbar, those guys were regional managers. They managed every fucking body. They basically had entire promotions behind them.
Thank
but
you.
they're not top 10. So I like the honorable mention.
Yeah, these are
Teddy Long, off and on, honorable mention's fine.
Well, you said Elizabeth out. Who from this list or who else you putting in top 10?
The Grand Wizard managed superstar Billy Graham when he was the WWF champion. That dude should be in the top 10.
Grand Wizard, yes.
I mean, that would be my top 10. Now, there's a lot of other ones.
Thank you, Monstar.
Thank
you, Monstar.
You could make an argument for Fuji. I could see
Fuck
that.
Fuji.
You could make an argument. You could make an argument for Baby Doll.
Missy
Hyatt. Make an argument for Alfonso. Hyatt, yeah, I mean, she was more of a personality. Like some of those.
Fonzie and Ellering are the ones I would take and try to put
that was the next name I was going to was Paul Ellering should have. I mean, there's some of those that we'd have to debate and look into more.
Yeah.
Yes, Sonny's not on this list, and neither is
Sunshine, right there. Sunshine.
Where?
Well, Sonny's in federal pound me in the ass prison.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she got a girlfriend named Bertha.
Luna Vachon. Thank you, Dr. Anus Tickler. Wow, fuck. That's a name. Yeah, Luna Vachon's not even on there.
Well, some of these on here, like for instance, Lana. Lana was a legit manager before she became
the valet's a good argument. There's a lot of better valets.
Yeah, she's the one who cut the promos.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that makes her a manager.
That's why I don't.
That's why I don't count Elizabeth as a manager, because she never cut a promo. She was just, on the arm. Now
she cut a promo. She said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Her emotion and the way she played her character was phenomenal, but she was not a manager.
Technically.
Same thing with Francine. Like Francine was a great manager for the Triple Threat in ECW.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to see her assets.
But she technically wasn't a manager. She really never cut a promo. She would just scream something here and there. She was a valet.
Okay, but I hate to go back to Fuji, but I will. He cut promos. And he did really well, too. He's like, and he would do it so good. And plus, his work with Yokozuna was amazing because Yokozuna didn't talk. Fuji did all the talking for him.
Fuji was a character, and Fuji affected the outcome of matches. So I give you that.
Fuji with the salt in the eyes. Oh, come on. And then Demolition saying, fuck you. Losing the match, and then Powers of Pain looking at him and picking him up and going, shit. Fuji, we'll take it.
If I knew you'd react this way to Fuji, I'd have made sure he's off the list so I get this reaction. It's gold. I love passionate Doc over leaving Fuji.
You got some problems with your list right now too. It's up there.
Now this list, they're not all managers, but this is who I could find and try to make as managers right now. Because right now there's really hardly any managers. I mean,
Leva's not a manager.
Yes, thank you.
Cutler's not a manager.
Thank you.
They were listed. I'm just on the AEW website. That's who's listed.
Sanjay's not a manager.
Thank you.
Sanjay is a manager.
No,
he's not fighting there with Lethal.
He's not fighting, but he's not. He's part of a stable.
He's in a suit next to the two wrestlers. He's a manager.
He's an executive.
Negative. We're not talking about managers who manage. We're talking about the pro wrestling companies call managers.
Max Dupree.
Ballets, which include tag partners that manage them. They're still managers.
Max Dupree.
Negative one's Max Dupree.
What's he? Is that his new name, or doesn't he have a new name now?
No, LA Knight is Max Dupree.
All right, that's it. And then, Max Dupree, my balls.
It's not Max
Fuck
Dupree.
that.
Max Dupree. So these are all listed today, not my fucking list.
Yeah,
the internet
list fucking sucks.
God damn it, it's wrong.
Fuji.
So is Dan Lambert a manager?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if they cut promos, they're managers.
No,
I like your other definition of the ones that used to
if they
order
come
the
to the ring,
food for them,
cut promos, and affect the outcome of matches. They are a manager, and they are not an active wrestler. Sanjay Dutt is not an active wrestler. I give you that. However, he's never stated that he was a manager. He's part of the thing.
Thank you, Anus.
He's part of a stable triple threat, whatever you want to call it. Leva Bates only comes out with Peter because they're playing their online thing. Cutler is the assistant stooge. Yeah. He's not an actual manager. He's
the cameraman.
He's an active wrestler.
He's an active wrestler that works. Yeah. Now, Arn, yes, he still comes out with his kid, but he's not technically a manager anymore.
How you gonna cut out?
If I got that Strickler on it, there'd be like 3 names on this list.
Well, I mean, because your list fucking sucks. No.
Thank you. That's the energy I look for in this segment today. I look forward to
just like your ring has too many ropes.
Week.
Your list has too many names.
Yep, I love it. Let's get Monstar in here.
Put all those fucking.
Let's get Monstar in here to tell us who Doc's gonna pick for the next pay-per-view. Because damn, why don't you just suck his balls already?
Because he's dead.
Mr. Fuji's balls. Oh, now we're making fun of dead people again. We're going back to that now.
You didn't make fun of him.
I
love Mr. Fuji. Sorry, Mr. Fuji was awesome. Sorry,
Mr. Fuji managed my trainer, and I still don't think he's top 10.
He's not. At the end of the day, Doc's going to be sleeping with his Mr. Fuji doll tonight.
Yeah,
I kept that one for the LJN ones. I kept Mr. Fuji. Thank you.
I bet you his LJN ring doesn't have 4 fucking ropes.
No, it has 5 fucking ropes.
Actually, it's an octagon now. I made it into one.
Doc, is it the Finger Me Fuji with Kung Fu grip?
Yep.
Holy piss in a bottle. At the end of the day, CJ Sensation.
At the end of the day, it's I'm going to steal a line from Travis Tritt. It's a great day to be alive.
Oh, cool. Ray, at the end of the day, Ray.
At the end of the day, one of the things that we bashed AEW about, I was totally wrong on. We bashed them about having too many people, but we're seeing the depth of their roster right now with all these injuries. I read somewhere today that Daniel Bryan is concussed again, that it's worse than they thought. I read that Adam Cole is dealing with a serious concussion issue.
Yep.
So those guys are probably going to be out for a lengthy amount of time. And we're seeing now, we saw Brody King go for the interim AEW World Champion. Malachi, that was all the setup for Malachi, though. Malachi cut the promo before he went out to the ring. The match was great. But that's all to elevate Malachi to where he should be now. And that's one of the things. They have so many guys who are right on the cusp. Andrade, Malachi, that should be main eventers. And they're giving him the time to push up now. and I'm excited about that. I love the Cesaro and Jake Hager interaction too. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Are they going to do the We the People thing?
They're going to do that in the match at some point.
At the end of the day, Doc.
At the end of the day, I want to thank everybody over on the chat actually supporting my opinion with Mr. Fuji.
Fuck Fuji.
Fuck Fuji.
I don't care. No. Number 2, at the end of the day, we have a great local wrestling this Saturday. RWA returns to West Newton, a.k.a. RWA Arena. It's going to be a street fight between J-Rock and making his return after 5 years, the one, the only, Chris Taylor. So I hope my friend comes back. He has a hell of a match ahead of him with J-Rock. J-Rock is, Ring of Honor talent. He's seen it all, and I hope Chris brings this A+++ game.
Come to RWA. You might get to meet me. You might get to meet CJ.
Jamar, Larry Sweeney.
Quick shout out to Jamar. 12 large, brother.
12 large.
Right. At the end of the day, managers have to do specific things or don't call him a fucking manager.
Correct.
And at the end of the day,
fuck your 4 ropes.
Doc Blues Fuji.
Your mama.